All right, we're live. Martin Foster passing the torch again, just here at the APSA Summit. And it's been amazing. I've ran into so many like-minded people, including both of you. So please just say your name and what your podcast is, and which I've watched. I've seen YouTube videos, but we'll start with you, ma'am.
So I'm Jessica Player. I am the Angela V of the Unpopular Celebrities, just in the military facet.
I'm Dominic Peterson, stationed at Luke Air Force Base. Unpopular Celebrities, just like T-Player over here.
You said Angela who?
Yee.
Oh, from Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Is this DJ Envy?
It sure is.
No, you know what? I'm getting Charlemagne's vibes. I'm getting Charlemagne vibes.
No, that's DC. He's a Charlemagne.
Oh,
yeah, he's a Charlemagne.
He's a cousin at Thanksgiving. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, exactly. He's the boy you bring home. And you like, why
If
not
he
bring
was
him
here,
home?
it would not be live, right? So,
We can do it live.
We would have to edit, you know,
Yeah.
we have to brief him before.
yeah. Hey, so let's talk about Unpopular Celebrities. Why'd you start it? How long's it been going on? And what do you want people to know about it?
Foundationally,
So foundationally, we started about 3 years ago. So we started it really as myself and the other guy named Big Mike.
Okay.
Shout out to Big Mike, man. Hopefully he's looking in, and he's in. Actually, his kid is graduating from basic training.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So shout out to him who graduated. Hopefully he made it through.
Oh,
we don't
nice,
know for
man.
sure, but he should be good.
yeah, because Big Mike was sending, you know, his people
Right.
on his son.
Yeah. So, but no, we started about 3 years ago, and we really had an airman, and we were outside talking and just having a casual backyard conversation.
Yeah.
You know, a meeting after the meeting type of conversation where you get the real truth and stuff. And this airman walked by, and we kind of just let him into the group, kind of organically. He's like, you know what, y'all need to start a podcast. Like, this is the information we need to know. And so we kind of thought about it from there, and Mike was like, you know what we do? And I'm the type of person, I'm just an executor. Like, you give me, like, I just go without thinking, 100 miles an hour and just run into walls. And so I was like, F it. So I went on Amazon, bought all like the equipment, went on YouTube, figured out how kind of how to do things.
Love it.
Just went for it. And I was like, Mike, I got it. Get over here, man. We got to go live. And we started learning stuff. And then we just evolved from there. And then we started going, and it got bigger and bigger. And we had we need some more people. Ironically, we had Jessica Play over here as a guest one time with the amazing Chief Aston Rogers. So we had both of them on, and her experience and her wisdom, her words, it was just great. It was like, you know what, we need to bring her on. So we asked her, and boom, here we are. Now we have 5 of us that are part of it.
That's
so we
awesome.
expanded pretty good, and we're just moving on from there.
Right on.
Yeah.
Now, I love it because it's mentorship on demand, right? Like, how many conversations have we had? Or maybe like, damn, I'm going through this situation right now. I wish I could remember that conversation that we had 2 years ago, or that brown bag. What's been some behind the scenes stuff that you want people to know? Because I get it, right? I get the struggle, and people like, oh, just do a podcast,
Yeah.
But there's so much more to it.
I think what I enjoy about our group is that it's, you say mentorship on demand, and I think that's what we can offer, like an uncensored, unfiltered, but still respectful environment. Because I think we have transitioned or evolved so quickly that, we're saying be your true authentic self. But sometimes a lot of people are very hesitant to do that.
Yeah.
So I think just our platform allows people to ask us questions, and we are real with our conversations. I enjoy the fact that nothing is canned. And a lot of it is kind of like what we did downstairs, like minds. You have that discernment of energy, and you're just trying to figure out how do I put the interest of the people first.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just to add on to that, like, we do a lot of stuff when it stops rolling.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of good conversations. Like, Pete, why the hell did you say that? It's like, did I say that? Because we're just doing live, and we're just going and just having a conversation. But I think the key, what you said, we all hold each other accountable. And not only do we hold each other accountable, but there's respect behind it. We all have stuff to do outside of just doing podcasts. And it's very easy to come on the camera and just start talking. It's the hard stuff to schedule it, and try to get guests and schedule them as well as
Yeah.
So just the fact that there's 5 of us and we can all work around each other's schedule, and if somebody can't show up, the show just keeps going on. And when they can, they come and they add their stuff, and we just keep moving on.
No, it's great. I mean, like, to me, I was telling him, like, a 45-minute episode or a 1-hour episode really takes 10 to 30 hours. It's depending on how much editing and writing show notes or researching, emailing, coordinating schedules, setting up equipment. There's so much to that. I also like that you talked about just impromptu and just live, because to me those are the best conversations. But as you reflect back over, you said 3 years now, what specific moment comes up? Or like, what's a specific moment? Like, you're like, when I look back and say, man, we did this, I'm proud of that, but yeah, what was, I'll ask you first, and
You know what I appreciate about the growth with our podcast is that we used to have it on Saturdays, and like you said, we're everywhere. The collaboration, and then we moved it to Sunday. And the one that really stood out to me is because we're always telling people, like, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. And the best episode for me is when they called in, or I called in, and I was getting a pedicure on a Sunday, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I was like, where's my headphones? Because
those are on point.
It sure was. And that massage chair was good too. But I think those are, like you said, the best moments, because I love that, yes, we are all serving for our country. Our positions don't dictate how we act, and I think that's the family connection that I enjoy with us and then with our viewers, because they look at us as who we really are.
Yeah.
Instead of just, I'm Chief Claire or you're Sergeant Peterson. It's like, what are we actually doing, outside of the uniform that they've had here?
I think the message is learning about people's story.
Yeah.
And everybody has a story. And, I resonate to a couple of episodes. We had Chief VanCleave-Goff that came on.
So I did a podcast with him 2 days ago.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Man.
It's a banger.
Like, yeah.
I mean, and we were at Right Pat together.
Okay.
So he's my dude, man.
Yeah.
I love Chad.
So he's very open about his sexuality and everything.
Yeah.
And it's very cool to hear those stories. And then to go back and hear how his family treated him with that. And still serving in the military while all this is going on, and still leading people, like, that's tough. That's very, very
And
tough.
he leads with class and poise.
Right.
And we were actually, so our podcast, he thought we were going to talk about the DEI stuff.
Oh,
And I was like, and afterward I said, Chad, I don't want to ask you about that because I feel like you get asked about that all the time, right? And it's important, but I want to, I wanted to switch it up. And so we talked about some of his upbringing and stuff, and it was a master's class in mentorship.
We talked, Chief Bass about her little red Honda Civic that she has. If you ever talked to her, she'll tell you about that story. Yeah.
Is that the one with the picture?
I think yeah. Then we talked to Chief Rogers
with
how
the
Chief Rogers wanted to be a DJ before she came in.
Yes.
So you learn stuff. I hate to spoil her, but she got an LOA, right, as a chief.
I know.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Wait, you did or
She did.
I did.
Yeah. So we talk about all this stuff, and you learn about how people actually are. Sorry if I just did that. You can watch the back episode. But yeah, we learn about these people, and we even have youth on there. Young staff sergeants and stuff like that.
Right.
And young airmen that's been on there, and their upbringing stories is completely different, and their mindsets are different. But it's just cool to learn about, and just curious. I'm really just curious about people and how they are and why they are where they are. So there's not really one episode, but there's nuggets from each one that you can take.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really, really good.
So, I get a little irritated with people because there's some people they dismiss podcasting, right? Or like people, in various leadership channels that I've served over the past couple of years. We'll say over the past 6 or 7. But I'm like, it's just like they don't realize people listen to podcasts and their connection. This is where people are, right? So that's a great point. Hey, one question I asked Chad and a question I asked K-Wright last night was, and we'll start with you this time.
Okay.
And it can't be anyone within the Unpopular Celebrities.
That makes it easier? Okay, I don't like any anyway.
What new friendship?
I'll for what?
I'm going to get him.
He was like, "What's your ugly toes?"
I know.
No. Hey, so what new friendship over the past 2 to 3 years? What's a new friendship you developed over the past 2 to 3 years? And it's just something that's just like, man, this is a lifelong friendship. And what's something you respect about that?
Man, that's a great question. So
Thank
somebody that hasn't been on the show.
No, I'm saying like it can't be you and the.
It can't be like me and Jess.
Yeah, it can't be anyone,
Okay.
anyone that's actually part of the Unpopular Celebrities hosting team.
Okay.
It could be a guest. Just not her. Or,
So there's been 2 major ones. Chief Rogers is definitely one.
Okay.
We have made a connection, and just talking to her downstairs, she's here today, so just talking to her downstairs and just remembering that. And then the other one, man, that's a tough one because there's been so many. We had an Airman Hill, Shannon Hill. She had Article 15, and she got demoted and they got her rank back. But just the fact we had that conversation, we still talk to this day.
That's great.
And I knew her before, but not as well as I knew her before the show. And then, like I said, once you learn about somebody, you automatically just connect a lot more.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, man, I can help you out. I can experience things a lot better with you. So I think those two have been, one is like a mentor and a mentoree type of thing.
Yeah.
And put me in a different perspective where I can help those people out. So I think those two are the ones that really stick out.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, I will say, honestly, we talked about the letter of admonishment.
Sorry.
But being stationed in West Texas at the time, Abilene, I met this lady, medically retired staff sergeant, and her name is April Buford. And when she was in the military, staff sergeant, worked medical, retrained into education and training, but she was also my base training manager at Dias. And I had only been there maybe 4 months, and she up and left, like just up and quit her job. And I was just like, oh my God, like, you know, because I'm on that tail end. It's like, hey, you got so many avenues, it's time to retire, but what do you want to do? But that connection with her just made me learn what it means to have conviction in my faith. You know, for me, I talk so much about like guiding principles or like listening to the voices in my head and just making sure I'm listening to the right one. But at that time, for me, she was the one when I was just, you know, like, what the hell did I actually do? You know, to come here, Dias. I just felt like it was like, Dias. But I didn't want that to be me. But she invigorated me again and, like, learning how to step out on faith, going for what I wanted, or just being around positive people. And she taught me what it means to be added value. So that is by far one of the best relationships. Like, I was telling him earlier, like, I'm retiring here in Dallas, and you know, I was stressing out so bad, like, where do I go? And I kid you not, like 2 days ago, she's like, hey, I'm about to build a house. Do you mind rent my house out? And I'm just like, do you not know, like, this has lifted a load off of me? Like, I don't have to worry about where I'm staying now.
Yeah.
So, yes, these interactions with people, I mean, that's what I love. And she's helping me in so many ways she just don't know. And I've only known her over the past year.
That's great.
Yeah.
Can I add two more that I just thought about? I just thought
you gotta cut him off.
No,
Okay?
Andy Gilbert is probably,
yeah.
see now, Andy Gilbert.
Who is he?
So right now he's the chief at Red Horse at
Eglin
Airport. I
Oh
almost
my
said Tyndall.
goodness.
I almost said Tyndall. I'm sorry. There's a lot of bases in Florida. Yeah, so man.
There's a reason why you guys are unpopular. If it was just you and the other, it would be popular.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So.
We say that all the time. I'm a unpopular one on the day. So,
Yeah.
but Andy Gilbert has been just a blessing. That's the best way I can describe it. And Todd Simmons is the other one.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a chance to connect with Todd this week and stuff.
I know he gets mad when we call him Chief, but that's how I met him. I met him as Tech Sergeant Todd Simmons, and you know,
Oh, wow.
he's one of my first supervisors, my second official supervisor.
Yeah.
This is really awkward. I thought he was going to say me, but that's cool.
You see how he did? But you know what? Now I'm about to do like we do at Commander's Calls. I just want to add to that.
Piggyback.
Like, I know, I'm about to piggyback. I didn't forget what it means. But, but Andy Gilbert, for example, is so crazy. Like, how long have you known Andy?
Oh, about 3 years now?
So, like, I've known Andy since I was an airman. So, like, we spent time in Osan, he and his wife, Gigi. I mean, just to see them in itself, like, they have beautiful kids now, but it's people like him that he never looked for anything in return. Like, he is the reason, like, I became a PME instructor. So, like, it's funny that, you know, you mentioned him, and yes, I'm a do-right. Todd Simmons was also my Air University command chief at the time, so I had the pleasure of getting to know him. But yeah, the dynamics of those people is, amazing. And then the connection.
It's so crazy. Yeah, we're all saying,
Last two questions, wrap up. And we'll start with you. If there's a giant billboard that you can place anywhere in the world with your message on it for everyone to see and they have to read it, where would that billboard be and what would your message say?
Oh my God. Look, Alabama.
Yeah, we already knew that. We knew that. I knew the place. Yeah.
I would put that billboard in Alabama.
I'm scared on the message.
Off of 459. I'm just playing.
By Bucky, right next to the Bucky's.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. People get mad with me. Like, I'm not a Bucky's person. Like, I have never been.
Bucky's doesn't like you.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Hey.
That's okay. It's okay. Right?
But
I'm
that
messing
Love
with you.
Truck Stop love me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Oklahoma, and that's big in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Love Truck Stop.
Yeah, I was like,
so Alabama.
Yes, I will put it on Alabama. I embrace Alabama, but my message would be like, do you? And I think, you know, oftentimes, like, you listen to everybody else, but just understanding, you know, that's their perspective. Pull in what you can use, but a lot of people are just so afraid to experience life. And I think when you do you are able to gain experience, whether it's going to be a successful moment or a failure. But at the end of the day, it's like, I did it, and I can live with the consequences of those experiences.
That's great.
That's gonna be so hard to follow.
Alabama, though.
You know,
I knew she'd have a great response.
Yeah.
I wanted to set you up for failure.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Don't do
it.
this.
I'm joking.
I think, you know what, I think I'm going to go with her and go back to my hometown, Modesto, California. We probably only have about 10 billboards, so it'd be easy to find mine. We only got a couple streets, so it's not that hard.
And what would it say? I have a recommendation.
I can't wait. Go ahead.
Because I want to know what yours was saying.
Yeah.
No one's ever asked. So I ask this question in every single podcast. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that.
That's why we're podcasting. We get every question.
That
That's
P&B
good.
came
Yeah,
out.
so you give me mine, and then I'll give you mine, and then I want to
I
hear
don't know
yours.
why, and I mean this with like admiration and love. I could see him as like, it'd be like one of those lawyer billboards. Like it's like the picture of him with a tie, and he'd be like, "Have you been injured? Did you receive an LOA? Call DJ Envy."
Call DJ Envy.
DJ Envy.
That's funny.
Yeah. So what would it say?
Man, that's tough. Because, you know, it's a one-time thing. And you wanted to say something that represents you and represents everything you are. So I think it would say something like, I've conquered all my fears, and I can't wait for the next one to show up.
Oh, nice. I like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we got to go back to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we ain't going to skip that stuff.
So I was telling him before I started my podcast six years ago, and I've had some struggles of like, being depressed and stuff over the past couple of years, and very hard on myself. But just it would say a couple of things. One is just love yourself, because so I'm a huge basketball fan, and I love Kobe, right? And I know this is controversial, but I'm a Jordan guy too, right? And I know we're not supposed to talk about that, but anyway, but Kobe, and I used to be a Kobe hater, right?
Really?
Oh, 100%, right? But then now I look back, like, man, I love him so much.
Yes.
But he had there's a quote, actually it's a screenshot on my phone, and I read it pretty much like every day or every other day. But he talks about learn to embrace the haters, right? Because no one hates, and it's a longer quote, right?
Yes.
But the gist of it is, no one hates the good ones, they hate the great ones, right?
Yeah.
So when you, if you're doing something and it gets 1,000 comments, there might be 6 or 7 haters on there. It's just like, you know what? But there's 994 positive. But people hate on The Rock, right? Or people hate on Denzel Washington or whatever. So it would say, just be kind to yourself, right? And something I've learned is what dominates your thoughts determines your direction. So it would say that, and so I'm a communications major, right? So I'm always, I write and I reflect on all these different things. I write basketball articles, but one of the things the most conversations we have are the ones we have with ourselves, right? There's times when we're alone, so we have to be positive. We have to give ourselves flowers, and I know that's kind of contradicts what a lot of people say, like, oh, you got to be humble and give back. You can do that and still feed yourself and take care of yourself. So for every negative thought I have, I give myself 2 good thoughts, like, you know what, my hair is messed up today, but that smile is on point, right? Or something, right? But what dominates your thoughts determines your direction, and just be kind to yourself.
That's good.
I like that.
Yeah. Last question, bonus question. If people want to find out more about you guys, where should they go? Because you have great content people need to know about.
About the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you can go to Facebook, Unpopular Celebrities.
Okay.
You go to Twitter, _celebrities.
Okay.
You can go to Instagram, Unpopular_celebrities. I got to remember all these now.
And I'll try to edit, or I'll add them to the...
or anywhere you find podcasts, Unpopular Celebrities is probably the best one. And if you want to join the show live, we have a show at Philly Council, also known on the show, but Chief Master Sergeant Dana Council, he's on the show, and he dubbed this show The Corner. And The Corner is like a spot, if you were just on the corner talking, and you're able to come up and join the corner. Well, we do it virtually, so you're able to call in like a radio show. You know, people that remember radio shows. You can call in. You can call in and just whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to say. If you want to stay on the topic, skip the topic, ask one of us a question. And that's been pretty successful. We just kind of started. I think we're on our 5th show with that one, and that's been pretty successful. So, but yeah, those are all the places.
Perfect. Anything else you want to throw in?
No, I love your content and what you're doing.
Thank
and
you.
I say that because, like, doing a solo, I can only imagine. Because even, like, watching him and Big Mike do it, you know, and we came into the fold kind of late, it's like I can only imagine the load, you know, you're lifting by yourself. So, by all means, like, I love the fact that you are so passionate about it and you're taking the means to learn, like, and you just talked about, like, success and failures, but yeah, your mentality, having that drive and your background in communications, yes sir, we love it.
I love you guys.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate you doing this too.
Yeah.
Appreciate AFSA. We were more remiss if I didn't mention that. So appreciate AFSA, and this is my first one. So yeah, it's been awesome. I can't wait to go back downstairs and get part of the meetings again and the briefings again and figure out what's going on in our Air Force. It's really good.
Yeah. And this is my last one in uniform, so it's been like kind of, well, my goodness, like a farewell tour.
It is.
I know.
She's gonna be a panel member.
Oh no!
Goodness,
Oh, they
look
don't want
at
that
y'all.
NAFTA. We ain't for that NAFTA.
All right, Martin Foster passing the torch on Unpopular Celebrities.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Subscribe.
Thank you.
Hey, that was fantastic.
Man, awesome.
It